It was a great day for Toyota, 1 through 4, and obviously a bunch in the top 10. So
Denny Hamlin just revealed the real reason his championship hopes are falling apart, and it's not what anyone expected. The three-time Daytona 500 winner is dealing with serious mechanical problems that have cost him multiple races this season, and he's finally speaking out about what's really going wrong. Let's start with what should have been Hamlin's moment of glory at Darlington. The guy absolutely nailed qualifying, posting a blistering 171.381 miles per hour's lap that earned him the pole position. But here's the kicker. By doing that, he actually prevented his own teammate, Chase Briscoe, from making NASCAR history.
Yeah, down here with Denny Hamlin. He's making some laps with Chase Briscoe. Chase said that you ripped turns 3 and 4. How'd that car feel?
it turned. We struggled with the balance really all during race practice, and so we made some good adjustments there to go one lap, and felt like it was really good. The Sport Clips Toyota did everything I needed it to do, and yeah, it's awesome to come here and get a pole.
You've won here before a few times. Do you feel like this car has what it takes on the long run to get it done again?
We're going to have to work on it. We definitely have some work to do, no doubt about it. But starting up front is certainly a big advantage. We'll go back, reset tonight, do a bunch of work, and we'll be stronger tomorrow.
Denny Hamlin feeling good about his number 11 Toyota.
Briscoe was trying to become the first driver ever to win poles at all 4 Crown Jewel races in a single season. He already had the Daytona 500, Coca-Cola 600, and Brickyard 400 locked up. All he needed was Darlington, and Hamlin said, "Not today." But winning the pole was about the only thing that went right for Hamlin that weekend. During the race, what he calls gremlins started showing up in his car. And when Hamlin talks about gremlins, he's not talking about something small. These were serious clutch problems that had never happened before in his career. On his podcast, Hamlin explained exactly what was going wrong. He said his car was popping out of gear multiple times during corners, which sounds absolutely terrifying when you're going 180 miles per hour around one of NASCAR's trickiest tracks. What makes this even more frustrating for Hamlin is that he's never had these kinds of issues before. For years, his cars have been reliable. Now, right when the playoffs start and every point matters, his equipment is letting him down. Despite starting from the pole at one of his favorite tracks, Hamlin was never really in contention to win. He had to grind it out for 500 miles, dealing with clutch problems and additional issues with his right rear on pit road. Still, he managed to salvage a 7th-place finish, which kept him second in the playoff standings, 43 points above the cut line. But here's where Hamlin's response gets really interesting. Instead of getting angry or pointing fingers, he's taken what he calls a loose approach to the playoffs. He told his podcast listeners that there's no way he can be consumed with problems he can't control. His exact words were pretty blunt. He said, "If the engine blows, and there's nothing he can do about that." This isn't just some feel-good attitude either. Hamlin has learned this lesson the hard way through years of racing at the highest level. At Darlington especially, you need patience and experience to navigate those narrow grooves without making costly mistakes. The track punishes drivers who get too aggressive, and Hamlin knows that getting emotional about mechanical problems would only make things worse. The clutch issues at Darlington were just the beginning, though. Back in May at Kansas Speedway, Hamlin faced an even more embarrassing situation. His clutch problems got so bad that his car literally had to be pushed and pulled out of the pit stall. His crew chief, Chris Gale, was on the radio giving him step-by-step emergency procedures, telling him to put the car in neutral, then drop it into first gear while the crew pushed. If that didn't work, he was supposed to shut off the engine, put it in second gear, and use the starter motor to get moving. The whole mess turned what should have been a normal pit stop into a 17.4-second disaster. Hamlin kept trying to race, but eventually the team had to throw in the towel with 63 laps to go. When he talked to Fox after getting out of the car, Hamlin's frustration was obvious. He said the car was really fast, but they just couldn't keep it together. Then there was the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, which might have been the most heartbreaking of all. Hamlin was actually fighting for the win, trading the lead back and forth with William Byron 12 different times. He was running strong and looked like he had a real shot at victory. But with 52 laps to go, his pit crew made a mistake that cost him everything. During the pit stop, his fueler's equipment either malfunctioned or wasn't engaged properly. Instead of getting a full load of fuel, Hamlin came up 4 gallons short. That doesn't sound like much, but in NASCAR, 4 gallons might as well be 400. He had to make an extra pit stop with just a few laps left while Byron and Ross Chastain battled for the win. Hamlin ended up finishing 16th. This wasn't even the first time fuel problems had hurt Hamlin this season. At Talladega, he learned about a fuel shortage with just 6 laps to go. The issue there was similar, MMU. His fueler had trouble getting the can properly connected, missing just enough fuel that Hamlin couldn't make it to the end. He finished 21st that day, but the most painful fuel mistake in Hamlin's career happened back in 2021 at Pocono. He was leading the race, took the white flag, and was literally 1 lap away from victory when his tank went dry. He had to pit on the final lap and ended up finishing 14th. You could hear the heartbreak in his voice after that race when he talked about seeing the white flag and then having to head to pit road. What's really interesting is how Hamlin handles these crew mistakes. On his podcast, his co-host asked if he talks to his pit crew after they mess up. Hamlin's answer shows a lot of maturity. He said it's not his job to yell at his crew members, comparing it to a quarterback yelling at the offensive line. He knows they're trying their best and not making mistakes on purpose.
It's another race in recent weeks where the pit crew has messed up massively. Where's your concern level at?
I don't have a huge concern because they're capable, right? And other than that one stop, I threw everything at them. The 22 picked behind us on pit lane, and so then I had to come around him for most of the day, and then I'm trying to maximize, my speed coming in. So then I'm sliding up against the left side wall, and I didn't make their jobs very easy. And they still performed really, really well other than that one stop. But that is the difference. And are you going to contend for the win that day or not? And that's just modern day NASCAR.
But you can tell these repeated problems are eating at him. He admitted that it drives him crazy because it happens so often. When talking about the Pocono disaster, he couldn't hide his frustration, saying he's had to pit on the white flag lap while leading. Even with all these problems, Hamlin tries to give his crew credit where it's due. After the Charlotte fuel mistake, he pointed out that the same crew had picked up 7 spots on the first pit stop and 3 or 4 on the next one. They got him from a 20th place start into contention for the win before the fuel issue knocked him out. His crew chief Chris Gale took responsibility for the Charlotte mistake and tried to figure out exactly what went wrong. After studying video and timing everything, Gale determined that the second fuel can barely took any fuel at all. He could see fuel coming out of the bottom, suggesting either a bad connection or equipment failure. He said they would have needed just 2 more seconds to get the 4 gallons they were missing. While Hamlin deals with his own team's struggles, he's been pretty vocal about how other playoff drivers performed at Darlington. He had some harsh words for the Hendrick Motorsports team, saying their results were bad but that fans might be overreacting on social media. He thought Chase Elliott's strategy backfired because of an untimely caution. William Byron just wasn't fast, according to Hamlin. And while Alex Bowman had some issues, Hamlin questioned whether the car was going to be competitive anyway. Hamlin did defend Josh Berry, whose race was basically over on the first lap when his car bottomed out and spun. Hamlin said it's very hard to control a car that bottoms out that badly, and you could actually hear how hard Berry's car hit from the radio. Looking ahead, Hamlin is in a decent position in the playoffs despite all his troubles. Being second in the standings with a 43-point cushion above the cut line gives him some breathing room. But he knows that cushion can disappear quickly if the mechanical problems continue. The next race at Gateway will be crucial for Hamlin and his team. They need to prove they can put together a clean race without the gremlins that have been haunting them. With his relaxed mental approach and years of experience, Hamlin seems ready for the challenge. But NASCAR being NASCAR, you never know what's going to happen next. What's clear is that Hamlin isn't backing down from either fight, the one on the track for his first championship or the one in the boardroom against NASCAR's leadership. He's breaking his silence and shocking everyone with just how deep these problems really go.
Yeah, it's the goal at the beginning of the year is to make the championship 4. To do that, obviously you got to put in some work in the regular season, and you got to perform well in the playoffs. And I think our record in the playoffs speaks for itself. Our average finish drops every year in the playoffs. We run better every year in the final 10 than what we do.
At 44 years old, Denny Hamlin just made statements that sent shockwaves through the NASCAR community this week. The 58th race winner broke his silence on multiple fronts while tensions reached boiling point in federal court. What he revealed about his championship expectations has left fans and competitors stunned. Denny Hamlin stepped forward with bold declarations that have transformed the 2025 NASCAR playoff landscape. The Joe Gibbs Racing driver made his 19th consecutive playoff appearance, more than any active competitor in the Cup Series. His recent statements at NASCAR Cup Media Day revealed a confidence level that has caught the attention of drivers, analysts, and fans across the sport. The 44-year-old driver answered directly when asked about his Championship 4 expectations. "Yeah, it's the goal at the beginning of the year is to make the Championship 4, Hamlin stated. He continued, "I think our record in the playoffs speaks for itself. Our average finish drops every year in the playoffs. We run better every year in the final 10 than we do in the regular season." Hamlin's 2025 season performance backs up his confident statements. He secured 4 victories at Martinsville Speedway, Darlington Raceway, Michigan International Speedway, and Dover Motor Speedway. At Martinsville, he dominated by leading 274 out of 400 laps in what many observers called one of his most complete performances in recent years. The driver's preparation methods have intensified significantly. Reports indicate he has increased his simulator hours and expanded his focus on data analytics. His pit crew performance has reached new levels, with the number 11 team recording an average 4-tire stop time of 9.56 seconds throughout the season. Broadcasting personality and former driver Parker Kligerman made a striking prediction on the Rubbin' Is Racing podcast. Cupside, it's Denny Hamlin's year until it isn't, so it's always Denny Hamlin's year. I got him in the Championship 4, Kligerman declared. The broadcaster's confidence stems from what he described as Hamlin's strongest season form. Kligerman revealed additional insights about Hamlin's current condition. "I've got William Byron. My wildcard entry in Championship 4 is Bubba Wallace. Career year. I love what him and Charles are doing. I just think they can have a strong run in the playoffs. I think I have Blaney in there," he added during the podcast discussion. Fellow competitor Kyle Larson offered remarkable support for his rival's championship pursuit. "Every year could be the year for Denny. He's such a threat every year and everywhere," Larson explained. The Hendrick Motorsports driver added, "I can't win it or one of my teammates can't win it. I would love to see him finally get over that hump and get a championship because he deserves it. He's done a lot for the sport." Hamlin's career statistics demonstrate consistent excellence despite the absence of a championship title. He has achieved 382 top 10 finishes across his career, resulting in a 54% top 10 finish rate. His 58 Cup Series victories place him among the sport's most successful active drivers. The legal battle surrounding 23XI Racing has created additional pressure for Hamlin as both driver and team co-owner. He addressed concerns about external distractions affecting his performance. "I have got full confidence in him, and as long as he maintains that level head and doesn't change based on the moment, I think we'll be successful," Hamlin said regarding crew chief Chris Gale. During a recent federal court hearing involving the antitrust lawsuit against NASCAR, tensions escalated between both parties. Judge Kenneth Bell presided over heated exchanges and warned against future confrontational behavior. Following the courthouse proceedings, Hamlin posted a humorous social media message about his lawyers advising against online engagement. When questioned about fairness during the ongoing legal proceedings, Hamlin provided direct responses. "I think we're treated fairly by the NASCAR officials that are at the racetrack. Yes," he stated. When pressed about who treats him unfairly, he responded simply, "The others." The lawsuit's impact on his racing focus became a central topic during media appearances. "It just makes me angrier," Hamlin answered when asked if the legal battle affects his performance. He explained his motivation clearly. "Because I want to win the championship. I want to win 60 or more races, and so that is my number. One goal, and so I'm not going to let anyone distract me from that, no matter what their motivations might be." Hamlin co-owns 23XI Racing alongside NBA legend Michael Jordan. This dual role creates a rare situation where a championship contender pulls for 2 different teams during the same season. If Hamlin and his Joe Gibbs Racing teammates Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell fall short, he would support his own team's drivers in the championship hunt. His perspective on the 2025 playoff format revealed a mature approach to competition. "It's just another chance to roll the dice. That's it. I don't feel any better or any worse than what I had last year, or the year before that, or the year before that. They're all very, very similar," Hamlin explained. The driver acknowledged variables beyond his control while emphasizing execution as the determining factor. I feel as though our team is as strong as it's ever been, but we've seen in the short sample size, it's just a matter of whether you get unlucky at times or you catch a caution at the right time or not. Do you stub your toe on pit road? Those are the small things that decide whether you move on in the playoffs or not. Hamlin's relationship with crew chief Chris Gale has strengthened throughout the season. I just hope he maintains a level head and takes it as freely as what I am. I'm not going to put any undue pressure on him. I think he's very capable and certainly has led this team to have as many wins as anyone else in this series, Hamlin stated during recent interviews. The veteran driver's approach to playoff pressure demonstrates his experience across 19 postseason appearances. I'm so tainted that I'm just very nonchalant with let's just win races and let's see where this thing ends up, he said, referring to past playoff experiences. NASCAR officials at racetracks continue to treat both Hamlin and 2311 Racing fairly according to his statements. Yeah, because I believe the people at the track treat us very fairly, he responded when asked about championship possibilities amid the ongoing lawsuit. The combination of on-track performance and off-track challenges has created a complex narrative for Hamlin's 2025 season. His 4 victories tie him with Kyle Larson for the most wins among playoff contenders entering the postseason. The Martinsville performance particularly stood out, where his 274 laps led represented complete track domination. Hamlin's goal of reaching 60 career victories adds another layer to his championship pursuit. Currently sitting at 58 wins, 2 more victories would achieve this milestone while potentially delivering his first Cup Series championship. The Phoenix Raceway season finale represents the ultimate destination for his championship aspirations. Broadcasting expert Kligerman's prediction carries weight given his recent success as a relief driver. He secured a stunning Xfinity Series victory at Daytona International Speedway while substituting for Connor Zilisch, demonstrating his continued connection to competitive racing. The legal proceedings involving 2311 Racing and NASCAR continue to develop as both parties prepare for potential settlement discussions. Judge Bell emphasized the preference for resolution over extended trial proceedings during recent court sessions. Hamlin's statements have established clear expectations for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. His combination of veteran experience, current form, and team strength positions him as a legitimate championship contender despite ongoing external pressures.
Yep. You're in the playoffs. Do you have expectations for the playoffs, or do you just set a goal for the next race and say, this is what we got to do to keep moving?
Nah, we just keep doing what we're doing, and yeah, I feel like we are getting better every week. And
something unexpected just rocked the NASCAR world, and this time, it wasn't a last lap pass or a pit road fight. It was a rookie, a road course specialist from halfway around the world, showing up and rewriting what's possible in a single season. Shane Van Gisbergen, better known as SVG, entered the Cup Series with modest expectations, but within months, he'd flipped the script, earned 4 wins, and locked himself into the playoffs. Now, he's in the fight of his life. On paper, SVG's story is legendary. A 3-time Supercars champion from New Zealand, he came into NASCAR as an outsider, a long shot. Most fans thought it would take him at least a full season to get comfortable. But SVG didn't just get comfortable, he dominated. From Chicago to Watkins Glen, Sonoma to Mexico City, his road course performances weren't just good, they were flawless. He became the winningest rookie in NASCAR history. And just like that, he was in the playoffs. But the playoffs are a different beast entirely. The regular season is where you earn headlines. The playoffs are where you earn respect. And for all of SVG's success on twisty technical tracks, the postseason starts on the ovals, Darlington, Gateway, and Bristol. These are the stomping grounds of legends. They're fast, brutal, and unforgiving. And for SVG, they could be the end of the road. Here's the truth. Oval racing isn't SVG's strong suit. He's shown promise, running well at times and notching 5 top 20 finishes. At the Coca-Cola 600, he held his own and finished 14th, which is no small feat. But he hasn't cracked the top 10 on an oval yet. That's the gap. That's the doubt hanging over him. And that's why some of NASCAR's biggest names are questioning his chances to survive this first playoff round. Dale Earnhardt Jr., one of the most respected voices in the sport, didn't sugarcoat his thoughts. On his podcast, he said, "I do not believe that SVG
Man, it's going to be tight. He's got 16 points to sort of cushion the blow. Not because he dislikes him, not because he's doubting the talent, but because this stretch of races is brutal. SVG has never faced anything like it, and in Dale's eyes, it's just too much, too fast. Denny Hamlin, a current title contender and co-owner of 2311 Racing, echoed the same doubts.